Hello, Premier Pro Planet. This is the Event 13 recap. But before we get started on that, I want to take a moment to remind all y'all that Saturday in Villa Park, it's Event 14, 7 p.m. bell time. Now where are we going with this?
First match of the night for Event 13. It was the second outing for Ron Reeves. He was taking on Michael Mack, who's been on quite a hot streak.
Quite a hot streak, and that guy gets bigger every other week.
Right. And Mack, for the most part, controlled the duration of the match.
I would say control is an understatement. He dominated him.
Right. He hit his Alabama slam, had Ron Reeves down and out, went for the cover, pulls his shoulder up, stops the 3 count, starts jaw-jacking with the crowd, says he's going to give him one more.
And like my boy Gorilla Monsoon used to say, he went to the well once too often because what happened?
Well, Ron Reeves comes to, starts socking him in the lower back, falls out of the Alabama slam, sunset flip, 1, 2, 3.
Amazing upset. This has been the upset of 2013. Ron Reeves beating a white-hot Michael Mack.
Pins the Giant, gets out of there because he knows he's in trouble if Michael Mack gets a hold of him.
Yeah.
And in his second match, he got his first win of his premier career.
Unbelievable, huh?
Absolutely.
All right, next. I'll tell you what's next. It was the mass stretcher, you turkey necks, taking on PPW training standout Cutter Crosby.
Right, and it was a beautiful match. Crosby and Stretch, they do work out together at the Premier Practice Facility.
Well, that's it. You're going to hear a lot of, it's good guy versus good guy. It doesn't matter. What's going on here is we're about the young, hungry talent, man. And we're trying to develop Cutter Crosby by handing him these amazing challenges against guys like Stretcher and Seaman. And to Cutter, his credit,
he held his own.
Yeah, he did, man.
He held his own. Stretch started working over the arm heavily.
Yeah, he did.
He was probably trying to lock on that cross arm breaker that he used in his Armageddon Gauntlet qualifier.
And what happened? The kid kept trying to get out of it and escape.
Right. He used that hold to get into the Armageddon Gauntlet qualifier, tapping out Cousin Eddie with it.
Sure.
And he kept trying to get it on Cutter, kept trying to get it on him. Cutter, to his credit, kept fighting back like a little pit bull.
Oh, man, he's amazing, man. The
kept,
Urban Rebellion.
Right.
Cutter.
Kept throwing it at him. Eventually, they went into a series of pins back and forth. One guy rolling the other guy up. Cutter rolls Stretch up. Stretch rolls Cutter up. And at the very end of it all, Stretch comes over with the cradle, dives over Cutter with the cradle, pins his shoulders to the mat. It was a hard-fought victory, but in the end, Stretcher overcame.
Now, look, that was amazing, what you just said there. The way that you described the matchup is exactly the way it happened. Good job. But I got to do it. I got to do it. I got to pimp this weekend because we need support. Cutter Crosby this weekend is going to be tested against GPA. Also, you're not going to want to miss a real amazing matchup. It's going to be Michael Anthony.
Mass Stretcher.
That's going to be a heck of a smash mouth. There's not going to be a doubt in anyone's mind that wrestling is real when they watch that matchup this weekend.
Right. Mike Anthony, first outing for Premier Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
But the guy has been in the business for how many years?
He's been in the business for a long time. He was in Memphis, Tennessee right at the end. The other thing with Mike Anthony is he's been real good to the company, and he's been a friend. He's been a believer, man, when everybody else has not only turned their backs on PPW, but actually tried to thwart us.
Right.
Again, the events this weekend, it's Saturday night. It's in Villa Park. What's the address again? The address is 270 West North Avenue in Villa Park. Jesus God, bell time is 7 p.m. Be there. I'm telling you, this is the best wrestling action in Chicago. Now, what's coming up? What's the next matchup?
Sorry, the third match of the evening saw Premier Pro Wrestling student Matt Dewar going into his third match of his professional career.
Third professional matchup.
And he got the unlucky card of drawing Scott Spade.
The ace o' spades.
That's what I was getting at with the card metaphor there.
I know, I had to steal from you. I'm color, you're the straight man.
And Dewar and Spade had one heck of a matchup.
DeWar's really coming along. I may not like particularly how his attitude is ending up, but you got to respect the kid in the ring. You got to respect the fact that he trains hard, man. That body is really coming along, and he's an amazing athlete.
Right. Now, the problem was he ran into the problem. He's used to fighting Mirko, who still kind of begrudgingly doesn't want to fight him.
No matter what he says, Mirko's a pretty decent guy inside until a point.
Right. And now he's in the ring with Scott Spade, who Spade's not going to hold anything back,
No.
regardless whether he likes you or not.
Not at all.
He could be in there with his best friend. He's still going to beat his brains in because it's a
He
match.
has with Rough Crossing in the early
Exactly.
days of PPW.
So Matt got a hold of the arm early, worked Spade's arm over pretty hard, and
He did real good sticking that body part,
yeah, I mean
too.
he wailed on the arm as much as he
Yeah.
could. And Scott Spade, miraculous comeback with one arm,
Yeah.
firing back, and got Matt out of his game. And before you know it, he counters Matt's maneuver, drops him with that patented pile driver.
No one does it like Scott Spade in this area.
Yeah, Matt bounced off the mat on
Yeah.
that one. It was brutal.
Yeah.
And
Dropped him like a bad habit.
that was game over. Matt had no answer for the pile driver. He couldn't kick out.
Yeah, well, this Saturday, Scott Spade is not in action for PPW. He will return, I believe, on Saturday, October 19th. So mark your calendars
Right, we're
if
trying to
you're
get
a
him back
Scott
for that
Spade
one. Yep.
fan. Matt Dewar, we'll talk about later who he's facing this Saturday night in Villa Park at 7 p.m. bell time, 270 West North Avenue, North Park Mall, same spot as the 5-star swap meet. There's some construction going on in the building, so go around the building all the way around the market side. I think it's called Garden Fresh or Fresh
Right.
Garden, and you'll see the wrestling entrances in the back of the building.
Set of glass double doors. It'll say wrestling entrance.
Exactly.
Walk down that hall, and you're right there.
You're right there. And again, I would put this wrestling of PPW up against anybody in the Midwest this Saturday night. You're going to see the best in pro wrestling and in-ring action as far as it goes. Now, again, we got to get into that thing about Matt Dewar later. Your winner in this match was Scotty Spade via the pile driver. Match 4, Milad Akbar coming off his World Wrestling Entertainment tryout to take on a guy that's been on a roll late with PPW as well, Calvin Beckham.
Right, and Beckham has a massive height advantage against Milad.
Oh, Beckham has got to be 6'6".
Yeah, I mean Milad, short, stocky, powerhouse.
Fire plug.
Yeah, and Beckham, tall, long arms, long legs, massive reach advantage. It was going to be an interesting matchup anyway it went.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, Milad went for Beckham's arm early.
Yep. He wrestled.
Yeah, and he out-wrestled him on that front until
he outpowered him.
Until Beckham went to the cheap tactics.
Yep. And that's the thing with Beckham that I got to say this while we're on the topic, man. You know, he does all that screaming and posing and all that stuff. It's all a ploy. He's just setting him up, lure him into a false sense of security, and then bam, next thing you know, like Milad Akbar found out, you're eating a guardrail.
And then he's in control from that point on pretty much the rest of the match.
Yeah, and he really has come up with some innovative things, too.
I mean, he worked the neck. Like you said, he put Milad throat first across the guardrail.
Yeah.
That was brutal. That could put a normal guy out right then and there.
Oh, it should have.
And Milad,
tremendous shape.
That neck is so stocky. I mean,
Yeah.
That's the only reason he survived is that massive neck of his. He does all these workouts and stuff to strengthen his neck and shoulders.
Oh, it's amazing. The guy's got an almost 400-pound military press.
He survives, goes back to the arm, gets a hell of a comeback.
Yeah.
Rallies.
To Beckham's credit, he did fight out of that arm hold a couple of times before Milad finally cinched it in. It took everything he had to finally get the victory via the short arm clothesline. The short arm scissors on Calvin Beckham. And Beckham's credit, he took a long time. It took a while to get him to tap.
Well, he got him in the cross arm breaker once. And Beckham's arms and legs are so long that he can pretty much reach the ropes from anywhere in the ring.
Yep.
So Milad breaks it, dragged him back out a little bit so he couldn't get the rope break, puts the hold back on. Beckham has no choice. He has to tap out.
Now, we also should mention I didn't hear either man say anything, but Beckham was so sour after losing to Akbar. When Akbar was getting his hand raised and had his back turned, he actually did hit him with the makeover. So I don't think those two. I don't think we've seen the end of that one
No,
either. Because
those sour grapes after the match.
yeah,
He's not above doing that. We've seen Beckham do it before.
yeah.
But Milad's not going to let that stand either.
Nope.
At least from the Milad that I know.
And we could say a lot of things about Calvin Beckham, but hey, the guy knows how to get this company to stand at attention. He's garnering attention.
Yes, indeed. It's okay. Fifth match of the night was another Armageddon qualifier. The first qualifier was Beckham and Milad, with Milad entering and qualifying.
Sure.
Second time, Big J fought Mirko JoeCop. It was a special night because we had two Armageddon qualifiers, which we haven't done yet. And that was just a battle of the heavyweights right there.
Well, it was two big guys that nobody really expected a lot from. You know, we haven't seen a whole hell of a lot from Big J Knight other than interfering with his meal tickets matches, meaning the $1 billion empire, and he's part of them. He's our newly hired henchman, so to speak. But damn, the guy proved when Mirko JoeCop set the pace, Big J Knight can wrestle.
Right. He had he started out full Nelsons. It was reversed.
Yeah.
And then when Mirko finally had it locked in on Jay, then Jay went to the dirty tactics. He stomps on the foot, gets out of the hold. Then
Stomps on the foot, pulling the tights.
Right.
But the bottom line is if he was in there with a less schooled wrestler than Mirko, he would have really done well for himself.
Right, and that's like he had the overhand wrist lock. He yanked Mirko down by the trunks.
Yep.
Then Mirko just used a leg trip to return the favor
And
to
Mirko
him.
is no small guy, but damn, that Knight is big.
Yeah.
He just dwarfed Mirko JoeCop. So, I mean, just the fact that Mirko was able to hang in there with that size difference and get the upper hand and actually out-wrestle the bigger man.
Right, and then Jay crushed him repeatedly with splashes in the corner, both from the back and the front. Just
Traded
smashed him.
blows, tremendous exchange of blows.
Right, and then the night, the match took a turn of events when during an Irish whip.
This is what we were talking about earlier. Guess who showed up?
Matt Dewar doesn't want to let bygones be bygones. Wax Mirko in the back of the head with the kendo stick while he's getting Irish whipped.
Nailed him out of the blue during the middle of a spot. Nobody saw it coming, and hardly anybody even knew what happened. If Dewar hadn't have been standing there for 2 seconds giving the people the stink eye, we wouldn't have known what happened because it was just like a flash of light. It was like a match being lit, and all of a sudden, crack! Mirko JoeCop's down on his back not knowing what the hell happened.
Yeah, he got KO'd from the shot.
Big J Knight gets the win, and Dewar, I don't know what he got out of that other than pissing off Mirko, and now I think all the nice guy crap is over, and this thing's escalating.
Right. It definitely wasn't to help Jay in any way because he has no allegiance to
none
Big
whatsoever.
J or the $1 billion empire.
It was purely to hurt and humiliate Mirko.
Right.
That's it.
He cost him the Armageddon qualifier.
Yeah, and his podium is that Mirko JoeCop hurt him on purpose because he's younger, he's a better athlete, he's better looking, he's got a better body, and blah, blah, blah. It's stuck in his head. It's there. The problem for Dewar is there's no turning back. For every action, there's a reaction. It's a physical law. I don't know what this kid's thinking. I don't know what Mirko's got in store for him, but that grudge match is to take place this Saturday night in Villa Park.
Right. And we got, let's let Matt put it into his own words. We did get a word with Matt.
Okay.
So we're going to go to that.
I didn't know that.
And then right after the event ended, we have words from Mirko, too, so we're going to go to those comments right after that.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing from both men because this thing is really getting heated.
Do you want to know why I did what I did to Mirko tonight, caned him in the back of the head? It's pretty obvious because 2 weeks ago, he came from behind after I had won, and he attacked me and he said, now we're even. Well, I got news for you, buddy. We're not even until I say we are even. It's obvious that your jealousy stems very deep because I am obviously more better looking than you, more athletic, have a brighter future than you. But you know what? That's okay because in 2 weeks, October 5th, I get to get my hands on you. You think getting hit with this? You think getting hit with this was painful? Just wait till I hurt you. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The war has just begun.
Matt, you messed up this time. I was ready to put this thing behind us. I was gonna let the sleeping dog lie. It was all evened up. I beat you, and you hit me after the match. Then you beat me, and I hit you after the match. We were even, man. And then you go, and you cost me my Armageddon Gauntlet qualifier by running up and caning me in the back of the head? That ain't gonna fly, man. See, this is where you messed up. You wanna bring a cane into this? Oh, we're gonna take it to a whole nother level next time. Because you talk about the war has just begun. Well, you may have won the battle, but you ain't gonna win the war!
All right, in this matchup, Chicago legend Willie the Bomb Richardson taking on somebody that he was real heavy in influencing, Matt Vine.
Right. And I mean, they both came into this match basically being fan favorites.
Yeah, and trying to, and Vine is really, to his credit, he's built up a head of steam since coming to PPW.
Right, he's got 2 wins.
Exactly.
2 wins to his credit.
Exactly.
And Willie's been tremendously over with the crowd from day one of being in Premier.
PPW, yep. And he's proved himself selfless, too, when it comes to helping train these young kids at the PPW training facility.
Absolutely.
Which, if you join our group on Facebook and you're interested in becoming a real pro wrestler, message us there.
Yeah,
we'll
send a
hook
private
you up.
message to the Premier page, facebook.com/Premier Pro Wrestling.
Yep.
Private message the page, and somebody from the staff will get back to you if you're interested in seeing if you have what it takes to become a professional wrestler.
And not to mention, if you're somewhere else currently and you're a wrestler and you're not happy with the way you're being used or treated, PPW, we operate much like a professional sports team. The absence of ego, as much as possible in pro wrestling.
Right.
But also, we're the only organization in the area with direct ties to World Wrestling Entertainment, in which we've gotten 5 men in 12 months World Wrestling Entertainment tryouts at FCW in Florida.
So Willie and Matt both came in fan favorites. Huge back and forth at the beginning of the match.
Yep. It was kind of teacher versus student. It was nice to see Vine, who's a little more seasoned than your Dewars or your Cuttas, come in there and actually, at some points get the upper hand on Willie by out-quicking him.
Right. I mean, he was throwing his best shots at Willie, a series of super kicks.
He was going for pinfall early. That was amazing. His wrestling ability is really coming along. He also trains at the PPW facility with us.
And then Willie, huge series of neck breakers.
Yeah.
Matt Vine, the crowd eventually turned against him.
That's the key. You just hit the nail on the head, so to speak. The proverbial nail has been hit on the head.
Crowd starts chanting, Matt Vine sucks. Completely gets in his head.
Totally gets in his head.
From that point on, he wasn't really in the match.
No, he wasn't.
Willie nails the Urban Cyclone. 2 3/4 of a pinfall off of that.
Yeah.
And only a matter of moments later, catches Vine off the ropes when he was got the pounce reversed on him.
Yeah.
Takes him for like a pub handle driver type move.
Mm-hmm.
Matt folded up, lands right on top of his head.
Like an accordion.
Unbelievable that he was, for the most part, okay after that. I mean, he was...
For the most part, okay, yes. But let me tell you something, as I'm the guy that went and got the ice for the back of his neck. The guy didn't know quite where he was for the first few minutes after that matchup. He was out cold.
Right.
Now, this is pro wrestling. If you stick around in pro wrestling, that's going to happen. Here's the thing. It's similar to the Dewar Mirko story, but actually not, because of the fact of this. Matt Vine seeks approval so desperately, that the minute those people were cheering Willie the Bomb Richardson instead of him, he was frustrated. Then when they started saying Matt Vine sucks, it was a different Matt Vine. You're right, he wasn't in this game. He was totally out of it, but he wasn't out of it for the reasons you would think of. He was out of it because, truth be known, that kid's got a giant ego.
And that's where the problem came in. Willie did not have any ill intentions behind that. I mean, he respects the kid. helped him break in.
Yeah, he did.
And
gave him chances.
right,
You know?
and by no means intended to hurt him. It was just a bad landing.
It was just a bad landing, and again, it's wrestling. Now, honestly, I don't think even if that landing would have, been, if he would have been to the point where he could have somewhat protected himself on that landing, the kid was already hitting Willie, his trainer, with closed fists in the knot just because the fans were turning on him. You could see the frustration build in the kid, and it sucks because that's pretty much the young Chicago area sometimes.
Right, and we got Willie leaving the building.
Yeah, and he didn't want to go there.
Right, we're going to go down and talk to Willie on
Cool.
his way out of the building. We got a recorded comment from there.
Always entertaining. Willie's
Right.
so charismatic,
So let's
man,
go to
even when
that.
he's trying not to be.
Yeah, let's go to that and see what Willie had to say.
Willie the Bomb. We got a word with you real quick. We heard a comment from Matt Vine. He was talking about how you trained him and you're trying to dog him out. What do you got to say about that?
Why you want to talk about that, man? I don't want to talk about that. No.
You can't give us any kind of word or comment, Willie?
I said I don't want to talk about that. But what I do want to talk about, I done racked up so many wins here. When do I get my qualifying match? I think it's time for the Urban American Dream to get his qualifying match for the PPW heavyweight title. That's what we should be talking about. That's what I should be getting next. Other than that, we ain't got nothing to talk about.
Okay, Willie. Thanks for your time.
Yeah.
First ever in PPW six-man tag team matchup featuring the Hellbillies, their proclaimed new cousin Backwoods Brown, who's the largest man in PPW today at 6'5", almost 400 pounds.
Right, and the match started off hot right off the bat. You had C-Man and Mass Stretcher with Alex, Johnny Wishbones Romero, Backwoods Brown, Outlaw J, Cousin Eddie. Mass Stretcher dives out of the ring.
Oh yeah, right off
onto
the bat.
Onto
Right
the
off the
Hellbillies
bat.
right before the match even starts.
Yep.
He didn't have enough force
Oomph.
behind him to knock the guys down.
Because the Hellbillies are big guys.
Right. So they throw Johnny Wishbones over the top rope.
Taken out.
Wipes out Backwoods Brown.
And then C-Man.
Slams into the guardrail.
You, sir!
C-Man dives in too, takes the other two guys down.
Like bowling pins.
Right. I mean, it was an amazing start to the matchup.
Yeah, it started fast. It started hot. There were tempers flaring, and there was some pride at stake in this one.
C-Man and Stretch isolated Outlaw J and
It worked so well.
Cousin
as a
Eddie.
team,
Yeah,
man.
they had him, and they put the hurt on him for a good 10 minutes before.
And here you got little Alex Romero in there, really, really trying to prove himself. The determination in this kid. It's not the size of the dog, it's the size of the fight in the dog, and he proves it every time he goes out there.
Yeah, I mean, it was tremendous from him. He got isolated by the Hellbillies and Backwoods Brown.
Yeah, those guys, again, cutting that ring off in half so Wishbones was just stuck. That kid took 15 minutes of heat.
Yeah, they really put the boots to him, but his never say die attitude, he kept fighting, trying to get that tag, trying to get any kind of fresh person in the ring.
Any kind of break. They wouldn't let him breathe. They ate his lunch, but the kid kept kicking out. It was amazing.
Right. I mean, he was worked over tremendously. And he was just excited to be in the.
Yeah, he was.
It was his first time he's ever main evented any kind of show.
Sure, man. And he was so appreciative. He works out again at the PPW training facility. He's a wrestler that came from another organization. He wasn't being treated right. They didn't see any potential in him. But that's all PPW sees in this kid is his attitude and his potential. And I'll tell you, he's meeting the company halfway, you know?
Right. And eventually, much like the first time when he fought Backwoods Brown
In
a
singles
competition, he was able to drop Backwoods Brown again.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he
with a
took
flying
the big
drop
man off
kick.
his feet, which is really a sight to behold.
Then he lights up Outlaw J with an Inseguri kick.
Beautiful Inseguri, by the way.
Like a bullet, it
Yeah.
flew through the air.
Yeah, dropped him like a bad habit.
C-Man comes in off the tag,
Mm-hmm.
hits a Fisherman C-plex. Meanwhile, Alex Johnny Wishbones Romero knocks Eddie off the apron. Backwoods Brown is already
Taking him out of the equation. It's like we're doing geometry here.
right. Backwoods Brown's already on the floor, KO'd.
Yep.
Tag in Matt Stretcher. Stretch flies in with a swan dive headbutt. That
I
was picture
love
perfect.
how he does that headbutt. He gets 2/3 of the way across the ring, and the way he hits him is so tight and so solid. You're getting every pound of that man.
Yeah, 3 huge moves on Outlaw J in
Too
succession.
much for any man.
2 in succession. They were able to get the pinfall and stand tall over a significantly larger team. If you go strictly by size, they were in big trouble against the Hellbillers and
Definitely
Backwoods Brown.
outmatched.
But the underdogs proved to be the smarter competitors.
Yeah, they out-wrestled him and they out-thought him. You know?
Yeah, it was one
Fun.
of the,
It was a fun match to watch, man.
Yeah.
That thing must have gone how many minutes?
it was at least 20 minutes.
Yeah, that was a hell of a matchup, you know.
And you will see C-Man, you will see Mass Stretcher.
Okay, wait a minute. Who is Seaman wrestling this Saturday night, October 5th in Villa Park at 270 West North Avenue in the same plaza as the 5-Star Swap Meet where you got to go around to the Garden Fresh and park in the back and find the wrestling entrance. Who is Seaman wrestling this Saturday night?
C-Man has Cousin Eddie.
Versus Cuzzetti. Now that's going to be a matchup. Again, just the 2 matches of Mike Anthony taking on the Mass Stretcher and the C-Man wrestling Cousin Eddie. Dude, it doesn't get any better than that. That beats the crap out of TNA.
And Alex Romero will be in action again.
Who's he facing?
He's got Calvin Beckham.
Oh, okay. That's going to be interesting because they kind of met before in a 3-way.
Well, they have a history because
Yeah.
Calvin Beckham put the boots on Romero after their triple threat match.
Can this guy wrestle anybody his own size? My God, he's got heart.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay to go out and prove a point, but geez, you don't have to wrestle every giant in the company,
Well, I think
kid.
he's got some unfinished business with Beckham, like you were saying. He wants to get a little bit of revenge for that after the match attack that Beckham put on him a couple shows ago.
All heart, more balls than brains. Alex Romero
Yeah, so October 5th,
at 7 p.m.
7 p.m., we will have Premier Pro Wrestling event number 14.
Yeah. Now, tickets to this event. And we forgot to mention this throughout the friggin' recap. Tickets for ringside are $12. If you purchase your tickets in advance at PremierProWrestlingOnline.com, you'll get a copy of Event 13 on DVD for free. Those DVDs will be for sale online shortly, and they'll be for sale at the event for $5. So, point being, for $12, you get a free DVD of the past event, Event 13, with an advanced ticket purchase. Now,
Right.
tickets are available at the door. That's just the motivational tool, the promotional tool to get you to buy an advanced ticket.
Right, and it's a no-frills DVD. That's the reason we
Yeah.
can sell it for $5.
It's commentated and edited nicely, and it's
Right.
HD.
Right. It's bell to bell, just matches. You don't have to sit through 20 minutes of entrances and blah,
No.
blah, blah. It's just matches, bell to bell, your winners, and just good all-around wrestling quality action.
Yeah, and it's edited well. It's shot in HD. Now, again, tickets are available at the door. Ringside will be available at the door, I'm sure. I'm not so sure. Don't quote me on that. But ringside tickets, if they are available at the door, are $12. General adult admission, $10. And kids 12 and under are $5. So, again, I would put PPW's caliber of in-ring action over anybody in Chicagoland or anybody that's running this Saturday night, Saturday, October 5th.
Right. And we can't stress it enough.
Yeah.
If you know people that like good quality wrestling
Yep.
and they don't want to pay a premium price for it, to go to Allstate Arena and watch WWE.
Well, to go to Allstate Arena and pay $4 for a bottle of water, $8 for a bag of popcorn, what is it, $15 now to park,
Right.
$60 for the nosebleed seats.
Right. I mean,
And the thing is, when you go to WWE, I'm not knocking WWE. We can't compete with WWE. Hell, our claim to fame is that we've got a WWE affiliation, which no Chicagoland or Midwest area can say that nor exploit it. But also, the thing is, our guys work harder than they do on the live event because of the fact that they're trying to get somewhere. They're the young lions. They're hungry, and they're really honing their skills. And you'll never see guys work any harder or have more love for the sport of professional wrestling than the PPW roster.
Right. So if you know fans of good wrestling for a fraction of the cost that it would have
Yep.
come to take to see WWE,
Yeah.
spread the word. Bring your friends. Bring your family. Casual acquaintances. Anybody you
Yep.
can think of. They're gonna have a good time.
They're going to have a great time. And aside from that, let me just say this last point and then I'll stop pimping, okay? uh, the company has gotten Samurai Del Sol. You may know him as Octagon Jr. What's his new World Wrestling Entertainment
He
persona?
started working NXT programs as Kalisto as well.
As Kalisto, okay? PPW got him his tryout for WWE. There's no ifs, ands, buts about that. And he signed. He signed to a contract. I promise you're going to see this kid, if he can stay healthy, in the Rey Mysterio spot before too very long. Also, Alpha Samoa is another one that we got hired with World Wrestling Entertainment. The thing is when you go to a show like ours, you don't know who's going to be next. We might be producing the next John Cena, the next Dwayne The Rock Johnson, the next Shield. You just don't know. So the point is, you can come to our event and say, God, I remember when he started out. Some of these guys, you can look at him and make your own prediction and say, this guy's got it, and I know we're going to see him on television. Get his autograph. They're approachable.
Right.
It's not like World Wrestling Entertainment where, for security reasons and insurance purposes, you can't interact with their talent. These guys, you can.
Right. So this Saturday, October 5th, 7 p.m., the 5-star swap meet.
5-star swap meet. Again, that address, if you want to put it into your MapQuest, if you want to put it into your Siri, if you want to put it into what the hell else they call it, it's 270 West North Avenue in Villa Park. Zip code is... How the hell with the zip code? That should be enough information to enter into whatever device you need. Don't forget, we got construction on the one side of the building, but you'll see a sign that's going to tell you Pro Wrestling Tonight. Park around the rear and find the wrestling entrance. You'll see it because it'll be clearly marked.
So hope to see you there.
Hope to see you there, and damn it, come up and say hello.